Good morning and welcome to meditation. Listen to how loud this is. Please join with me in consciousness as we spend the next 15 minutes in affirmative meditation. I will do it in the first person, so please allow the words that I now speak to be the words of your own heart. Take a deep breath and just relax. Know that you are safe and just get comfortable. As I relax into this knowing, I know that I am deserving. I deserve all good. All good. I now allow myself to move past all the negative, restrictive thinking. I release and let go of limitations. I bless my parents. I love them and I go beyond them. I choose to have my own thoughts, my own beliefs, and move beyond that which I was taught. I have free will. I have the ability to choose. I know in my mind I have total freedom. I now choose to raise my consciousness. I am willing to see myself differently. I am willing to create new thoughts about myself and about my life. My new thinking becomes new experiences. I now know and affirm that I am at one with the prospering power of the universe. I now prosper in ways. Unlimited possibilities lie before me. I deserve life. I deserve a good life. I deserve love, an abundance of love. I deserve good health, and I allow good health to be my reality. I deserve to live comfortably. I deserve to have more than enough money for everything that I choose. I deserve joy and happiness. I deserve freedom to be all that I can be. And I deserve even more than that. I deserve all good. The universe always says yes, and always manifests my new beliefs. I accept this prosperous life with joy, with pleasure, and with gratitude, for I am deserving. I accept it. I know it to be true. I am safe and secure at all times. Love surrounds me and protects me. I am filled with energy and enthusiasm. My body heals easily and rapidly. The world is a safe place. I know I am safe. I am at total peace with life. I am healthy and whole. Good health is mine now. I release all my past beliefs. Life loves and supports me. I live in a friendly universe. I am safe. My mind is at peace, and all is well, always. I allow life to flow through me. I allow life to flow through me as me, for I am a part of divine intelligence. Today, I am willing to move forward with ease, joy, and grace. I am gentle with my body. I love myself. I give myself permission to be well. I am responsible for my experiences. Every thought I think is creating my future. So today I choose to make my thoughts good ones, empowering ones, loving ones. I choose to let go of all of my patterns of resentment, criticism, guilt, and self-hatred, and love myself instead. I know I have thoughts, and I know my thoughts can be changed. I am the architect of my life and my thoughts. As I release the past and forgive everyone, I also choose to forgive myself. I approve of myself. I accept who I am. I accept that I am not broken. I do not need to be fixed. I am a perfect, divine being, just the way I am. I love myself. And I know my point of power is in this present moment. So right now, I choose to say, I love me. I am at peace. Every cell of my body is at peace. My thoughts are at peace. And from this peaceful place, loving others is easy. Loving me and accepting me is easy. I look at change and say, it's only change. I am safe. I notice my feelings and know that it is safe to express my feelings. I am at peace with myself and with all life. My inner vision is clear. I easily hear my inner voice, my gut feeling. I know it always tells me the truth. I am lovable and everybody loves me. And I choose to love everyone as well, for it is always give and take. And I know as I give, I also receive. So I begin by loving me and blessing everyone in my life. I love who I am. My life is a success. I know it is unfolding even better and better every moment of every day. I choose to go beyond my old fears and limitations. I know everything is possible with God, and I am one with God. I experience life through me, and it's in this moment that I give myself permission to relax and allow. I am at peace. I release my stress with ease. I have the power and strength and knowledge to handle everything in my life. Love surrounds me, protects me, and nourishes me. I live in a friendly universe. All my good is always available to me. Right now, I choose to notice all my good. I radiate acceptance, and I am deeply loved by others. I know that as I am, the world shows up the same way. Today, I choose to be a deliberate co-creator of my life. I choose joy, peace, prosperity, vitality, and amazing abundance in every way. It is mine now, and I say yes to it. In this moment, I allow and welcome change. I am open to the wisdom within. I relax into the flow of life and let life provide all that I need easily, comfortably. I deserve it. I am willing to create new thoughts about myself and my life. I am powerful and capable. I love and appreciate all of myself. I give myself permission to change. I take the time again to fully recognize that I am one with Spirit, this beautiful divine essence that permeates all things seen and unseen. And I am at the center of it. And I know that I am the architect of my life through all my deep-held feelings and beliefs. So it is in this moment that I am open and willing to change the beliefs that no longer serve me. With a grateful, grateful heart, that all of the insights come to me easily and gracefully. I release the how to Spirit. I know it is already done. I rejoice in this knowing. Gratefully I release. And I breathe in the breath of life. And I let go everything unlike it. I am supported. I am safe. I am prosperous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please join with me in affirming. And so it is.
When I'm standing in the shadows and I can't see the light, when I'm waiting at the crossroads and can't tell wrong from right, I think about your stories, I think about your life. I remember what you told me, and I know I gotta try. That's the thing about everyday heroes. Everyday heroes help us discover that we all can be somebody's everyday hero. Everyday hero. You are an everyday hero to me. Everybody has a worry and it stands in our way. But if we're gonna stop dreaming, what a steep price to pay. We can take a look around us, anywhere we go. Somebody's gonna remind us, and it's someone we know. I'm talking about everyday heroes. Everyday heroes help us discover that we all can be somebody's everyday hero. Everyday hero. You are an everyday hero to me. I hear what you're saying, I know what you mean. Heaven knows it ain't easy, but just listen to me. Everyday heroes, everyday heroes help us discover that we all can be somebody's everyday hero. Everyday hero. You are an everyday hero to me. You are an everyday hero to me. we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. All we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. Twists and turns, unexpected, day by day moving on. I don't have all the answers, come what may, right or wrong. All we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. Crashing waves touch the shore. Time moves faster every day. Ebb and flow, no control. All that's left to say, all we can do is be there for each other in these times when we don't know what to do. All we can do is be there for each other and help each other through. And help each other through.
Y'all get down with share. Yeah. Share. Share where you are. Share where you are. Share. 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 It's hard to share. Share. Our sharing will change the world. Sing. 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 Sing all together. Sing, sing, sing. When it's hard to sing, sing. Our singing will change shine through. Everybody sing love, love, everybody. Love, love, love. It's hard to love. Love, our love will change the world. Everybody love, oh, love, love, love,
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present. It's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present. It's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present. It's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
Good morning and welcome to Unity Spiritual Center. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Deborah Castle and I'm going to have fun today. This is the plan. I know I'm a little bit nervous about it, but I'm going to do it. It's my pleasure to be your presider today, and I'd like to begin with Emilio and some fantastic songs.
Thank you. Let Go of the Shore by Karen Drucker is our first song for the day.
let go of the shore.
Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float in mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. You have all you need, it's all inside of you. Close your eyes and breathe and know that you are safe. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. No need to make a plan, your heart will be your compass. Lift your sails in faith and trust that you will arrive. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. Float into the mystery. Float into the mystery. Let go of the mystery. Float into the mystery. Let go. Float, let float, float. All right. Now we're going to do If I Were Brave by Janice Stansfield and Jim Scott. What would I do if I knew that I could not fail? If I believed with the wind always fill up my sails, how far would I go? What could I achieve? Trusting the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? You know there are. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where true believers dare to tread. I'd never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, would the voice of courage whisper in my ear? Maybe this is what I need. I am brave enough to move ahead where true believers dare to tread. I never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step will I take today? I am brave. What will I do 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 today? I am brave. 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 All right, thank you. All right, thank you. And now, our meditative song is "I Don't Need to Know" by Daniel Nahmont. When things go wrong, it's natural to wonder, what celestial rule did I break? When things go right, it's logical to ponder, what credit can I take? But the truth is so much easier. I don't need a master plan. I can live here in the moment, 'cause my life is in good hands. I don't need to know I'm crying out for answers. Guess I'm still craving control. And still I fight. I'm afraid of taking chances, as if I could damage my soul. But at this moment I remember, it comes so clearly, that the minute I surrender, I'm as safe as I can be. I don't need to know where the time goes, 'cause God knows. I don't need to know what the future holds, 'cause God knows. I need never know how feelings, how my heart mends. I can just let go, 'cause God knows. I need never know how feelings, how my heart mends. I can just let go. I can just let go. I can just let go. 'Cause God knows. God knows. God knows.
Opening up to the Spirit of God right here where I am. I remember that there is only one divine essence, and it is everything seen and unseen. It's pure potentiality. It is love, it is support, it is benevolence, it is guidance, and it is flowing through me every minute of every day. And in remembering this, I open up to all of it right now, knowing that I am safe, I am loved, I am guided, and I am exactly where I need to be in my life right now. So as I breathe into this truth, knowing that my good is unfolding every day in every way, I allow my heart to fill with gratitude, and I let go, knowing it's all good. And so it is.
Okay, and this week's inspiration. So I've got to start off with Emilio. I'm brave enough to let go. All right. So it says, we do not know each other yet. We have not dared to be silent together. What a priceless possession is the gift of speech. To be able to make sounds convey specific meanings and deliberate notions. To be able to put at the disposal of another the feelings that nestle within the inner life. To be able to reveal oneself in symbols which make clear and do not betray. This is the miracle and the gift of the spoken word. It is with the word that one becomes human, and thus makes possible the circles of relationships. In this word that gives one the power to hurt, where no panacea can touch, to harness the wild horses of the mind, and to make them the burden bearers of the heart, to give wings to earthbound values until they lose themselves on far horizons. It is the word that can create or destroy, splinter or make whole, redeem or damn. Howard Thurman, The Inward Journey, page 52. Thank you. And for our next song, please.
Mountain by Sam Ryder. Rough seas might pull me under and dark clouds might dim my days. There's always bright tomorrows when I close my eyes and say, remember how you made it through the fire. Remember how you've come so far. An unstoppable force of nature. Yeah, that's what you are. I know all that I have lost has given me the purpose of conquering my painful love. Sing this hymn to rise above. High up a mountain, down in the valley below is all that I've overcome. All that I've overcome. Oh, high up a mountain, down in the valley below is all that I've overcome. All that I've overcome. I'm a fighter, it's like I was born to be one. Whatever life may throw up after death, whatever fate might creep up for me next, I stand with my head to the sky and shaken by thunder and move to the tide. I know all that I have lost has given me the purpose of conquering the painful love. I sing this hymn to rise above. High up the mountain, down in the valley below is all that I've overcome. All that I've overcome. Oh, high up the mountain, down in the valley below is all that I've overcome. All that I've overcome. I'm a I am a mountain, down in the valley below is all that I've overcome. All that I've overcome. Oh, I am a mountain, down in the valley below is all that I've overcome. All that I've overcome. I'm a fighter, it's like I was born to be one.
Are you catching the theme? So basically all month, and it's only about halfway through now, we've been looking at what is our thinking and what stops us and what causes us to move forward. And today I'd like to look at what lies beyond the familiar. Because we're all really happy being in our little sandbox most of the time. But it can get boring and it can get almost too small for who we have become. And so trusting the mystery beyond what you can explain is where I'd like to go today. The mystery being life, spirit, the unknown, the pure potential that lies within you. So standing on the edge of what you know is where I'd like to begin, because that's really the only place that we can begin. So would you say that you're good at the familiar? It's a trick question. Of course we are. We love the familiar, right? We love to know exactly what to expect wherever we go and what life shows up like. And it's actually very uncomfortable if things don't show up the way that we expect. most of the time, right? We don't go, okay, give me a day full of shocking surprises. Because guess what you would get if you said that? You probably would have a lot. So you know your stories and you know your opinions and you know the words that you use when things get uncomfortable, right? Do you say that's true? And yet, every real transformation, personal and collective, begins when the familiar isn't enough. Anybody been feeling like the world feels a little small? You'd like to maybe be a little more stimulated in a way? No. Okay. Well, maybe we'll just end it here then. So in unity, we might say there is more life here than what is immediately visible. Would you agree with that? And there is more intelligence present than what your conscious mind can imagine. Yes. And that's why we're only part of the all that is, not all of it, because I don't think our little minds, our skin suit that we're in could handle everything that is possible, even to think about it. So this week, we're exploring what lies beneath our awareness, the shared unconscious, the collective patterns of thought and belief that shape our experience before we ever speak. Now, when I say collective patterns, there's a lot of things that we do as part of a culture, as part of, let's say, even this culture, and they're unspoken. We had an example of that this morning. We have a couple of new people that are here, and they sat in places where typically, Emilio sits or our presider sits, and we had to say, would you mind? This is normally where they sit. We didn't think ahead to say maybe we should have signs on those chairs for new people that are coming so that they would be not feel uncomfortable being asked to move or that kind of thing. Like we get so patterned in this idea of what we expect and what we think everybody knows because we know it, that it kind of stops living and we stop living. So classic unity metaphysics is thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. I trust the mystery beyond what I can explain. And that's the affirmation I would use, maybe not in those words for me, because what I usually say is everything always works out for me, which means I trust the mystery beyond what I can explain. So Howard Thurman, who's an author, reminds us that we do not yet know one another until we have dared to be silent together. Think about, even right now, maybe there's somebody sitting next to you that you don't know very well. And if the two of you were just in the room, sitting side by side, could you be silent? And how comfortable would that be? And most of us aren't comfortable enough in our skin to do that. I mean, I remember when I was first learning public speaking, my husband, Reverend Randy Armstrong, he was teaching the public speaking. And one of the weeks, because it was a 6-week-long program, we had to have a silent speech. But we had to maintain eye contact with everybody in the audience for 3 minutes. Now, that doesn't sound like much. 3 minutes is a long time. And that was to build that muscle of you don't always have to make noise to have an impact, okay, as a public speaker. But also, when we have conversation, especially deep conversations with people, if you can practice the idea of pause and just eye contact, how much more communication could actually happen that's real and that's authentic. So I'd like to look at our shared inner landscape, the idea of silence, and then trusting the circle, and I'll explain that a bit more. So beneath the familiar is the shared inner landscape. So much of what shapes our life lives below conscious thought. Thank goodness our bodily functions just kind of work on their own, that we don't have to think about it. But we also have habits of reaction and inherited beliefs and unexamined assumptions. Now, when I was first dating someone and we moved in together, My inherited beliefs and cultural beliefs were that you never closed the bathroom door with someone you lived with. He was so shocked when I opened the door and he was sitting on the can. What the heck are you doing? But it was one of those things we never even thought we needed to discuss because it was something that was something I grew up with. So much of what shapes your life are habits of reaction. So what the body and the mind do automatically in certain situations. Interrupting when you feel misunderstood. How many people feel the need to, stop talking so I can explain? Explaining yourself quickly when no one has asked. And that's a habit. Tensing up when certain topics are named. Like if somebody starts talking about maybe sex and orgasm from the platform, I know I used to bug Pat about that because she'd say, just don't make me talk about sex, okay? But certain topics cause us to seize up. Politics, for instance. Certain politicians, in the world right now even, you mention certain names and people's bodies get tense. Withdrawing when emotions rise in the room. Where you want to make yourself as small as possible, or where's the exit? I want to get the heck out of here. We have these habits of reacting to certain things, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with any of that. It's to recognize that you have it because it shapes your life. So needing to fix someone else's discomfort. I remember when we were training to be chaplains, and they said, don't run to somebody with a box of Kleenex if they start crying. Let them cry. Let them ask for help. Do you somehow feel like you feel better because you did something? That's not going to really help them. Filling the silence because quiet feels awkward is another one. Agreeing outwardly while resisting inwardly. How many have, you're thinking in your head, that's a stupid thing for you to be suggesting and whatever, and there's no way I agree, but you're going, yeah. And I've done it. I'm sure you have too, because you don't want to ruffle the situation. And yet it's not your truth. And you're there to speak your truth at times. Sometimes it's to be silent and talk at another time. But so these habits form through repetition, not intention, and they're learned responses, not character flaws. There's nothing wrong with you. You have just learned to live that way for whatever reason, and that's okay. It's to be aware of when you are and why you are, and is it serving you? So how about inherited beliefs? Those absorbed from family, culture, or religion. I have a girlfriend who says, God, and whenever she says God, she looks up. That's an inherited cultural belief that God is up there. Strong people don't need help is another one. Or it's safer to stay quiet than to be honest. Or conflict means something has gone wrong. No, actually, sometimes conflict means that it's something to discuss. Something has come up where let's find mutual ground here. Or authority knows better than experience. And there's a lot of people who believe that. A doctor, because he's got this degree and the white coat and the whatever that thing is, that stethoscope, you figure, okay, well, if he says something or she says something, then it must be true. Pat's laughing. I'm not going to pick on you anymore, Pat. Spiritual people should always be calm. And that there's something wrong if you get angry or frustrated or afraid. Or there's only room for one right answer. And usually it's, I'll say me, but, the person. My answer is the right one. Yours must be wrong. Or my value comes from being useful. That's another one too. What is useful in a certain situation? These beliefs often arrive early, quietly, and very convincingly. And they shape us long before we question them. So how about unexamined assumptions? Stories we treat as facts, assuming we already know what somebody means, rather than saying, could you explain that a bit more? Or assuming disagreement equals disrespect. Like, how dare you disagree with me? I'm the wise one, or whatever it might be. Or assuming silence means disapproval, where silence might actually be that somebody's contemplating. Assuming we must respond immediately. And boy, do we live in a culture like that. Your phone rings, you should answer immediately. Someone sends you a text, you better answer it in 30 seconds or else there's something wrong. Assuming clarity must come quickly. Have you ever thought, how come I didn't come up with that and it took me a day to figure that one out? Assuming discomfort is something to avoid. How many want to avoid discomfort? And boy, do we do that without even thinking about it in many cases. We'll say no in some form or another rather than yes, because it's going to be uncomfortable. Assuming being understood matters more than understanding. That's a big one. Assumptions feel like truth until you slow down enough to notice them. So when you slow down, you discover that much of what drives you isn't wrong. It's simply unseen, and you haven't explored it. So this is why certain conversations feel charged before anyone has said very much. And so if you feel charged going into a conversation with someone or meeting up with someone or a situation that you're already assuming is going to be uncomfortable or you're going to get a no or something, to stop and say, what's getting in the way here? What kind of assumptions am I making before I give the other person or the group or wherever I'm going the opportunity to have a conversation? Because there's nothing wrong with saying, help me understand. So here's a real life example. Someone names a difficult idea about belonging, justice, money, grief, or change. And before they finish, your body reacts. Your mind prepares a response already, and you feel the urge to jump in. These reactions aren't a personal failure. It is consciousness doing what it's practiced. And so when we say you have a certain consciousness, that consciousness is stuff that you've practiced, and you can raise your consciousness. We use that term raise by being aware of how you're responding and responding perhaps more from awareness than from just reactionary. Does that make sense? And so why am I bringing all of this up? Because we're looking to live more peacefully, more joyfully, to have happier days, deeper conversations, generally just well-being, right? And what goes on inside of us, our inner landscape, is really what can get in the way of that. Your inner patterns shape your outer experience. When you change your inner posture, the experience changes with it. There's not a whole lot that rattles my cage anymore that used to before. Would you say that you're kind of getting there in a lot of things? Or that the remembering of it happens a little more quickly than it used to? Might take you 3-4 days to have an aha, whereas now it might be that night, or even in a few minutes. So the practice, instead of reacting, practice a new thought form. Tell me more. And there are other words you could use as well. But in a conflict conversation, perhaps, or where all of a sudden your haunches are up because someone has said something and you're ready to, whatever it is, to relax and say, tell me more. Help me understand this a little bit more. I'm not really getting what you're trying to tell me. Does that make sense? So tell me more. This phrase interrupts old mental habits and creates space for something new to emerge. This is truth lived, not just understood. And I learned this from one of my original mentors, because she said that when she was first learning to be totally authentic, she found that she was bumping up against those inner assumptions and thinking that someone was either being critical or just they wanted to know something, but the way they said it sounded as though they were attacking her. And so she started to say, "Tell me more." And if she still didn't understand, "Can you tell me more?" And just sat in that conversation. And what she told me was she found that she was ultimately at the end of it in a place of real loving with this person because she understood their perspective. She didn't agree always, but she understood it. Do you think that you could do that? So let's look at silence. Silence is the doorway to the sacred unknown. We often distrust silence because words make us feel in control, right? Yet all spiritual traditions remind us that source precedes expression. Do you understand what that means? Cause and effect, thought and action. Stillness comes before speech. Being comes before doing. So if someone's doing something, you know what they were being because of what they're doing, right? Silence isn't empty. It's actually full of presence. And when we say that spirit is pure potentiality, pure love, pure grace, all of those things, and you're not having enough of that in your life, try silence, because that's where it resides. And maybe your mind's been too busy and you haven't had an opportunity to have that kind of dialogue, whatever it is for you, with spirit. I had another beautiful experience reminding me of spirit in terms of how I could understand it this week. And it was the last dream I had before I woke up. It was one of those things where I wished I could have fallen back asleep again to recover that feeling. But I felt almost as though I was in a cocoon of love. And that no matter what I've ever said or done or how I looked or what I thought about myself, this feeling, which wasn't a person, just loved me for who I was. And I remember waking up going, darn, I'm awake, because it was so beautiful. And I'm here to tell you that it's that kind of love that is always right where you are. So in a tense conversation, someone finishes speaking and there's a pause. If you let the silence remain rather than filling it right away, emotion settles, meaning deepens, wisdom has time to surface. Often the truest words come after the pause. So try that this week. Let someone completely tell you everything. Acknowledge that they're speaking to you, though, because if they don't get that you're hearing them, they're going to say it over and over and over again until they get that you've heard them. You have to acknowledge it. So like you're speaking to me, Diane, I'll go, okay, tell me more. Okay, tell me more. You know, or whatever it is that I might say. You know, I'm hearing you. I'm looking you in the eye. I'm getting it. Prayer and meditation are practices that align you with truth. And silence, listening, and restraint are actually forms of prayer. And what is prayer? Remembering the truth of who you are, that you live, breathe, move, and have your being within this loving essence that is everything. And when you open up in prayer, which is open up to it rather than your small self, then you're praying and everything transforms. And silence and listening are prayer. Have you ever thought of that? So this week, let silence follow challenging statements. Choose one curious question instead of a conclusion. Trust that clarity forms in stillness, because this is prayer in motion. So trusting the circle. Collective healing emerges when we trust the circle. And what do I mean by that? Talk about the indigenous circles. So when I say healing, what do I imagine we're healing from is the question. Are we repairing something that's broken? Because we talk about healing in spirituality all of the time. Are we uncovering something that's forgotten? And I believe it's that we're uncovering something that's forgotten. Collective healing emerges when we trust the circles. So let's move on to circles. Many indigenous traditions use talking circles to embody a simple truth. Wisdom does not belong to one voice. And you can have a talking circle with just one other person. And how do you do that? By allowing silence and real listening and eye contact to be part of that conversation. Not preparing what you're going to say next while they're still telling you, but taking the time to truly hear what they had to say, maybe asking for clarification, and then waiting for your opportunity. I remember for many years I was in hairdressing, and I would have clients come sometimes once every 2 months or so. So I didn't see them very often, but they knew I was a good listener. And in many cases, all I had to say was, so what's going on with you now? Or what would you like me to know? And for 2 hours, they would tell me. And as they were leaving, with a little bit of like, oh, how are you, by the way? And bye, see you next time. Because there was no one in their world that was giving them that kind of space. And if there was, they wouldn't have the need to fill 2 full hours with conversation. So the circle itself becomes the teacher. When we stop competing for airtime and start listening deeply, something larger than any individual perspective emerges. Does that make sense? Would you have a hard time doing that? Yeah. And yet it is something I use in all of our classes that we teach here as well, that I teach, is giving everyone the full space. And they can say, no, pass, I don't want to speak. And that's fine too. So in Unity, we say one life expressing through many forms. And when you start to engage in that kind of circle conversation with everyone that you encounter, then that one life starts to show up in those other people as well. So we forget who we are. That's what healing is. Healing is remembering the identity, your identity as spirit, not convincing ourselves, but living from it. And it emerges when we trust the circle. You may have something you really need to get off your chest, but you know what? Sometimes when you hear what someone else has to say, something in you gets healed. Have you ever had that happen? Wow, I didn't have to bring that up at all because it kind of naturally, organically came up. So firstly, why would I want collective healing anyways? You know, many of us are in our own little bubble and our own little problems and all of that. And why should I worry about everybody else's healing? I've got my own stuff to deal with. Would you say that's true some of the time? So honestly, I choose collective healing because my own peace doesn't last very long when the space around me is tense or divided. So I choose collective healing because then I can feel safe. I do my inner work and I can pray and meditate, and still, when a room is tight, I feel it in my body. So I'm committed to collective healing. When people stop trusting each other, something in me closes too. You can feel it when you go in a room. So it isn't abstract for me. I choose collective healing because I live inside of the collective. I'm not an island unto myself. And I am as empathic, if not more, than a lot of people I know. So I feel it. The space between us shapes who I get to be. And you've allowed me to feel safe enough that I can tell you some of my deepest held feelings and experiences. And that's healing, I think, for all of us, because then you can say, gee, I've never said that out loud, but that lives in me too. I choose to speak without feeling unsafe. And that's because of collective healing. And I choose to listen without preparing my defense, because I don't have to defend. I choose to trust that something wiser than me becomes available when we slow down together. That's why I care about listening. That's why I care about circles, whether it's a circle of 2 or 22. That's why I keep practicing the simple, difficult words sometimes. Tell me more. Or giving the space for someone to talk for 2 hours straight. Now, in a class, I might give you a 2-minute limit and say, we'll get back to that, okay? So at the deepest level, I choose to help create collective healing because it's important for me to belong without armor. I choose to create a world where we all can speak without bracing, listen without defending, disagree without disconnecting. Collective healing makes belonging possible without needing to be just like you. At the deepest level, I want collective healing because it's important for me to belong without armor. And I say this twice. Because I think I lived with armor for a long time. Have you lived with armor? I choose to create a world where I speak without bracing, I listen without defending, I disagree without disconnecting. I don't have to be like you, and you don't have to be like me for us to love each other, to live collaboratively. So would you say this one with me if it resonates? I choose collective healing because my wholeness is tied to yours, and our shared life becomes kinder and wiser when we heal together. So living the principles together, what lies beyond the familiar is not chaos. It's a deeper intelligence that's already present, waiting for us to slow down enough. So when you choose to change your inner stance, practice silence, listening as prayer, live the truth in relationship, healing as in remembering that it's all okay, unfolds naturally. So are you willing to say, I trust the mystery beyond what I can explain? Let's say it. I trust the mystery beyond what I can explain. And in that trust, the best of life reveals itself within me, between us, and as us. So what do you think about that? And our collective landscape and silence and trusting the circle. So I'll start with Deborah to share, what did this bring up for you? Did I give you any cosmic 2x4s today?
I'm afraid of you, actually. Because every time there's a cosmic 2x4 and you start talking, I'm like, oh man, it happened to me again. So talk about timely. I was at my daughter's on Thursday night, and we went down because she was going to have a celebration for my birthday. So we went out for dinner, had a wonderful evening. And when we came back, she said, I'm planning on moving the March 1st. I know, that's what I said too, Pat. So my mom mode went into, well, what can I do to help? Right? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But I thought, you know what? I said, you've been here a while. You've got a lot of stuff, but you know what? I'm sure you can handle it. I got a text 2 days later going, Mom, do you think you can come down and help me pack? Like, because my immediate reaction was like, I got to do this. Like, there's a lot of stuff. I got to get going on it. And then I realized, I'm not giving her the respect, and I'm not giving myself respect, right? When I want to jump in and save her. So, it was difficult, I must say. But I was so excited when I got the text, and I'm like, oh man, I'm still in her life. This is great. So that was my cosmic 2x4. And you know what? It was because of the book that we were reading, that idea of taking the moment, pausing, and think about what's mine to do, right? I mean, there's a big question. What's mine to do?
Thank you.
So that was my cosmic 2x4. Anybody else got one?
Anyone else?
Yes, I do. I don't know. Did I turn it on?
No. Oh, maybe it's on now.
Yes.
Okay.
It was on and I did not know it. It's a wonder I wasn't saying anything. And you always give me so much to think about, really. I wish you would stop so we could just have a conversation when you ask these questions. And now I've forgotten what they all were, of course, because now I'm just on the latest one, which was about the healing circle. And I'm thinking, that's what we get out of unity classes is that letting just being one with each other. And it's almost as though it doesn't really matter even what you're talking about. That's just the excuse to come together. But what we get out of the class is that love and that sharing and allowing us to really listen to each other. The class that you're teaching, has it started yet?
On Wednesday.
It starts on Wednesday on Zoom. Yeah, and at York Region, Susan is doing a year-long class on the 12 powers every Tuesday night. And then Thursday night, we have a variety of teachers that teach classes, but it's ongoing all year. And it's just so wonderful. And it's all by Zoom, which is even better. But I was thinking about the Quaker practice of silence and how they do it as a religious practice, really, and how wonderful it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be still and know
Be
that I am.
still and know. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's right at the front of the Silent Unity prayer room.
Yes.
Be still and know.
So anyone else? Anyone from home? Anything to say? We have someone at the back. Cheryl?
The folks at home are being silent right now.
Okay.
All right, just before we get to Cheryl, before I forget. So I had a whole career of problem solving, okay? So that is a bad habit as I get older because I'm jumping in. However, now I have to jump in because before I forget what I wanted to say. And that's really driving me crazy because, then if I hold back, I feel I'm going to lose it all, and it's so that short-term memory, right? It's a bugger.
Well, and the interesting thing is that sometimes that's in fact what needs to happen, is to forget, because that moment of responding may not be the most loving thing to do. Not in this situation, but in certain situations for sure. Cheryl?
Today, the message was very pertinent in a lot of ways, and I thought about many things. However, the one thing which is actually kind of funny is that I don't know if you guys all know this, but many years ago, somebody told me something about assumptions and assuming. And that was the whole idea that assuming was making an ass out of you and me.
Yes. And isn't that true? Yes. Anyone else? Oh, Emilio. Oh, someone from home.
Gertie, hi Gertie from Winnipeg. I've always loved participating in circles of healing. Lots of growth there.
Yes.
I really like the trusting that healing occurs naturally. It just happens naturally if we just allow it. So that's reassuring.
And that's a big thought, isn't it?
It's a big thought. It's
Yes.
it's everything is working out for me.
Yes.
It's that kind of
Yeah.
thinking. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And just a reminder that York Region, Unity York Region, is a study group, and they have a Zoom call that is available to watch the entire service if you want to be involved with a group that is watching us. And also they have a discussion at 11:30 for about half an hour on the topic that was discussed. So if you're watching this online, the Zoom link is below the video in the description box. So at any time you can get that Zoom link and then just join in on the conversation, especially if you're at home.
All right, and thank you for giving. Oh, sorry. Let's do the conscious giving. All right, if everyone could repeat it with me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all I give and all I receive. And so it is. Thank you for your generosity. Yes, it is. Oh, okay. So this is Potluck Sunday. Yeah. Okay.
All is Well by Eddie
Yes.
Watkins Jr. I'm not worried about tomorrow. Today I declare freedom from yesterday, mistakes of the past. Today all things are made brand new. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? I can change my reality by changing my mind. Perfect peace, joy, and happiness is yours and it's mine. I am loved and so are you. And don't it feel good to know that all is well and unfolding as it should? Let me hear you say, all is well. Let me hear you say, all is well. Divine Spirit is directing me right now. All is well. Ooh, all is well. All is well and unfolding as it should. I am cloaked in the Spirit. I am fed by the divine. I am one with all that is. My soul is free from time. I am blessed and so are you. Don't it feel good to know that all is well? Don't it feel good? All is well. Just to know that all is well. My soul is free from time. All I got to do is change my mind. I'm free, all is gonna feel good. All is well and unfolding as it should, as it should.
So thank you, everyone, and those of you online, thank you so much for joining us. And know that you can join the conversation after this through the Zoom link with the group from Unity York Region. And we're having potluck today. So those of you that are here for the first time or one of the few times that you have been here so far, join us for this wonderful meal. Every, third Sunday, we bring our favorite treats and we share. So we'd love to have you stay. Thank you very much, and bye for now. I love you.